I've always said if in doubt during draft time, take the best Buckeye available. You generally agree with that?
Steelers do that.
Steelers
or
do
so
that.
it seems.
I can't remember the last time the Browns, Ward, but prior to that, it's been a long, long time. All right, a couple of Buckeyes might impact the Browns. Let's take a look first at Malik-Harrison, linebacker, 6'3", 240, 75 tackles, 16.5 for loss, 3.5 sacks in 2019. First team All-Big Ten in 2019. Let's continue on, see what we have. Here's a guy who had a better year his junior year than he did his senior year. Wide receiver K.J. Hill, 6 foot even, 195, 57 catches last year, 10 for touchdowns in 2019, and 50 career games for Ohio State. The most receptions in Ohio State history. That's pretty impressive right there. How about Jordan Fuller? Jordan Fuller is a safety. The Browns apparently looking for safeties. 62 tackles, couple of INTs, 4 passes defended in 2019. First team All-Big Ten in 2019. They just churn them out, don't they?
Yeah, and you're, of course, saying that Young and Okudah are no shots. That makes sense because they're going to go in the top 5. I don't know about a receiver, Les, because
you can find those guys.
All the indications are that this regime is willing to try Landry and Beckham one more time. And if that's the case, there's only so many balls to go around. You've already got Chubb, potentially Hunt as well in your backfield, and we know that Stefanski likes his tight ends. So how many balls are there to go around to satisfy receivers? So I think receivers is low on their list because they have Landry and Beckham.
Do you agree with me that when they came in, and I'm talking about Barry and Stefanski and
Yes.
the position coaches, when they came in and looked at the film over and over and over again, that they found that they had a better foundation than they might have thought they'd have?
Yeah, I think. I mean, they probably looked at the offensive line and said it's as bad as we thought it was.
As advertised.
But then again, they might have looked at Baker and said, you know what, he's been shaky here. He's made his line look worse than it actually is, which...
Or they've made him look worse.
Yeah, but I'm also saying that a quarterback is not always blameless in that equation.
Correct.
I'm sure they've got issues with every position group, but...
No, but they can't tell arm strength from the film.
What, Baker?
And the coaches can tell what they've got in Baker from an arm strength position.
Sure, they can, and
decision-making might be different.
I think that if they watched what we saw, independently of, they said, okay, we're just Martians dropping down in Berea and going to watch this, pretend like we don't know anything about anything. They saw a quarterback who had a rough season, no doubt, whose confidence was shaken regardless of what he said publicly.
Yeah, of course.
Who was inaccurate, and I would say shockingly so, because that was one of his hallmarks coming out of Oklahoma, and we saw it in full bloom in 18. He was so accurate. He was putting the ball exactly where it needed to be.
Right.
In 19, not only was he inaccurate, he was missing by a lot.
Okay, but now take a look
certain throws.
He had one coach the first year in Hugh Jackson. Then he comes up with 2 in the second year. This will be his fourth in 3 years.
It's never a prescription for a healthy quarterback play.
No.
But, if I'm Stefanski and I realize, look, the previous regime drafted him, but he is number 1 overall. He was number 1 overall, and he's only going into his 3rd season. I'm going to give him a fair shake.
But he's got to win.
But I think that the pressure's on him from the jump in 2020.
You could explain.